If the study room is set up in this way, there's no way your children can focus because it doesn't align with the Feng Shui theory of 负阴抱阳. 负阴, yin is the yin, 抱阳, yang is the yang. So before we talk about the theory of yin and yang, I would like to share with you one personal story. I grew up in a kind of middle class family and my parents have 4 children. As I didn't grow up rich, so having my own study room was a luxury, and instead the dining room was made to be our study room. So what happened was I would be sharing the dining room, which is the study room, together with the other 3 siblings of mine. When it is time for breakfast, lunch or dinner, we will just put all our books aside and have our meal at the same table. Once we finish our meal, we will clean it up and then use that table to do our homework. As I grew up in a Chinese family, our dining table is always round, and that dining room wasn't a close-up space, but an open area. And this is how it used to be. The 3 siblings of mine would be sitting at position A, B, and C, and I was sitting at where the cross is. And the story continues. When I was young, I always had issues with my study. I couldn't focus, I couldn't concentrate, I couldn't pay any attention in studying or doing my homework. I was also compared with the other 3 siblings of mine. My academic performance was always poor and my examination scores were always the lowest in the family. As a result, I was always teased by my siblings. My parents found me hopeless. Even I thought I was stupid. Okay, now let's come back. What is this Feng Shui theory of 负阴抱阳? What is this yin and yang about? So, yin is the moon, yang is the sun, yin is mother, yang is father, yin is female, yang is male, yin is the night, yang is the day, yin is dark, yang is bright, yin is soft and gentle, yang is hard and strong, yin is quiet, yang is noise, yin is stillness, yang is action and movement. Okay, if you would like to set up a good Feng Shui study room for your children, you must meet the most fundamental principle of Feng Shui, which is called 负阴抱阳. 负阴, 负 means the back. The back has to be yin, which means the back has to be still and quiet. 抱阳, 抱 means embrace the yang, which means the front is yang. So all the actions and movement have to be in the front. The back is yin, has to be quiet, and the front is all the movement and action. And now, if you go back to my story and look at that floor plan where the dining room was and where I used to study, all the other 3 siblings of mine, they were sitting at position A, B, and C, whereas I was sitting at where the cross is. Out of these 4 positions, which position meets the Feng Shui theory of 负阴抱阳, which is the back has to be quiet and still, and all the actions has to be in the front? Obviously, if you look at where I used to sit, that was completely against the Feng Shui theory of 负阴抱阳. We always like the back to be quiet and still because when there are people walking behind us, when there is movement constantly all the time, it is very difficult for us. It's not only your children, but even for adults. It is very difficult for us to focus and concentrate with what we have to do. Whereas when I was young, where I was sitting was completely upside down. Instead of having my back to be stable, still and quiet, there were always people walking behind me. There was always movement behind me. Whereas, if you look at the other 3 positions of A, B, and C, which position is the best position which is aligned with the theory of 负阴抱阳? Best position was B. You can see that where position B is, there was a wall right behind of position B, which provides the stillness, the quietness, and no one is going to walk behind that position B. and 抱阳 is to embrace the yang in front. So if your study table is set to be in that position, wherever there is movement, wherever there are people walking around, you can actually see it and you notice it instead of having movement behind you with people walking around. And this pretty much explains why I wasn't able to concentrate in my study, why my academic performance was always poor. Now you have understood how to set up a good study room for your children, which is by using the first principle of Feng Shui, and I call that T-spaced scan. This is the method where you can scan the structure of the room to find out which is the best position to set up a study room, and if that's not a good setting, how you can modify it by just scanning the structure. Once the first step is done, you can move on to the second step, which is to look at the yearly flying star. We all know that the flying star number 4 is the flying star for study, for knowledge, for academic luck. And in year 2025, the flying star 4 is located at the west section of the house. If you are able to set up the study room, first step with T-space scan with the correct setting, and then the second step at the section where flying star 4 is, there will be another plus. There will be more credit to gaining more knowledge, to be more able to focus and concentrate. If you could set up the study room in the west section. Now let's move on to step 3, which is to find the original flying star of your house. If you could find out where the original flying star of your house, which is where flying star 4 is located in the house, set up the study room in that section. If you know where the original flying star 4 is located, you can actually permanently set up the study room there instead of moving around every year according to the yearly flying star. And that is very convenient. And because the flying star is permanently staying there, it will give you more power than the yearly flying star. So your question must be, how do I know the original flying star of my house? If you would like to find out the original flying star of your house, sign up for my masterclass now. It is free. On top of that, if you would like to make the power of Feng Shui to work for you very quickly and see fast results, you can sign up at only $1. This is Ian Ho. I wish you all the best and success in your life and with your children's academic study. I'll see you next.